So let's talk about counterpoint. Now, my counterpoint here is not complete by any means, but while I'm working on it, I thought it would be a good opportunity to show you, oopsie, lol, a little bit of my thinking. What does counterpoint actually mean? Counterpoint, the technique of setting, writing, or playing a melody or melodies in conjunction with another according to fixed rules. Counterpoint is when you have two different melodies kind of going against each other. This is called a pedal note. It's staying the same. And against that pedal note, I've got this movement. Here I've got a third voice coming in. Some pointers for you if you want to improve your counterpoint. Principle number 1 in counterpoint. You don't want all your voices moving like in the same direction all the time. If you look at how Bach wrote and his fugues, obviously this is not a fugue, but a fugue is a great example of counterpoint. He'll have a voice and then something that goes against that voice, like a counter subject. So here I've got this pedal point, and a nice contrast to this pedal point is to have this movement. That creates a nice contrast, and if everything's moving at the same time, it's a bit busy, and you kind of lose this effect of like two melodies like crawling against each other, which is what makes counterpoint so cool. When you do have two moving voices, so if you don't go the pedal route, it's nice to have them going in contrary motion. So here you see a voice is going up, and these two voices are going down. And then it's going up again, and then it's going down. And then I'm thinking, there's been a hell of a lot of movement. Let's just change it up a bit. So here it's kind of going static a bit. Here I've got a big interval after I had lots of small intervals. It's like a conversation. If you're chatting to someone, oh my goodness, and they're just droning on and on and on like me, it can get really boring if it's one-sided. And so in good counterpoint writing, you don't want that to happen. Now, another thing is, damn it, what was it? I had a good point. I can't remember, man. I had such a good tip. Actually, you guys should be sad because it's still somewhere in my brain, whereas you don't have it now. Yeah, I just went to the grocery shops because my fridge is pretty empty, and yeah, I'm just vlogging in the car because all the kids are doing it these days, and oh, there's a car next to me. Now it got awkward. What does this have to do with LUMO BERRY? Absolutely nothing. bitbird had listened to my song, but I haven't heard from them, so I assume that they heard it and were like, not what we're looking for. And so I just got this like surge of motivation to like work on my second piece, which I've already started, so I'm trying to open that now, and then I can show you kind of the early stages of it, and then yeah, you can watch it progress over the course of this episode. Not what I remember. Distortion. I added that lead guitar. Did it quickly. Each voice should be like a melody in its own right. Okay, cool. Let's talk about that quick. If I take this counterpoint thing and I write it like on sheet music, or it doesn't have to be sheet music, but in separate MIDI tracks, and if this is my first track, my first voice, then here I've got another voice. This is voice 2, and this is voice 3, like I said earlier. But now, you want these voices to be good melodies in their own right, and a way to test that is to actually sing it, or play each note on the piano, or like I'm doing, just click and drag your mouse, and then you can hear it, and then you can decide if that's a pleasing melody. And with that, here's another tip. It is so important to have rests. Music and silence. Music doesn't exist without silence. Music is meaningless without silence. And so it's really important to have gaps. Just like a good melody has space to breathe, you want there to be gaps inside your voices, in your head. Haha. So for instance, la 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 Now in these rests, while this voice is breathing, I might want to do a cool little vibe in another voice. La 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 la. Here's another rest, which gives this fourth voice a turn to do something else. If everything's just constantly going on in the same direction, and there's no contrast, oh my goodness, there's no conversation in that. And music, we're communicating something. Voice 3 coming in again, voice 4 coming in, voice 4 dropping out, voice 3 dropping out. There's like a climax within the counterpoint, not just in terms of the moving notes, there's more busyness, but there's also a thicker texture, there's less pedal notes, there's a little bit of gaps and like call and response going on, and then it thins out again. So it's kind of like a crescendo. Happy New Year! It's the 2nd of January. I'm not gonna lie, I'm exhausted. There are so many mosquitoes here, I haven't been able to sleep. Like, just look at my hand, for starters. Can you see the zillions of bites? And that's just my hand. Erroneously, a few months ago, I bought matcha tea powder, and it's so disgusting. And I didn't want to throw it away because it was expensive and blah blah blah. Anyway, no one cares about my mosquito bites and my matcha tea smoothie. This is what I was doing. I had a drum rack with just a tom hit, but what I did with the tom hit is I just looped it in the simpler. I've automated the loop length, so it's in classic mode and it's loop, and I've automated the loop length so that as the MIDI note keeps playing, the loop length increases so that the time between each hit increases, so you get this like exponential rhythm kind of thing. What I'm wanting to do is another mosquito. I'm not just some piece of meat for you guys to just... What I'd really like to do is take that section, that counterpointy section, and actually like orchestrate it and have this like huge epic climax. But I also need to finish and submit the song this month. Guys, I've been getting some really nice comments lately. Thank you if you're new and if you comment regularly, and just thank you. It's really encouraging. Okay, I'm gonna drink my matcha smoothie and yeah, I'm just struggling with this piece. I don't like dealing with software instruments, you know, like I want to deal with humans, so I'm kind of wondering if I should just record everything myself. And even though I want a big climactic thing and I think it would be epic to have an orchestral sound, maybe there's another way I can achieve that epicness in a way that's unique, and yeah, unique to me, and in a way that might not need to rely on my sample libraries. I just wanted to film this so that you can see we all have down days, and some days things just sound bad, and some days we want to give up. But we don't, if we really believe it's worth persevering for. I am thinking that maybe the only way for me to deal with this piece is to actually just say I must finish it like this week. I think I'm just putting too much pressure on myself, you know? I just usually set myself really high standards that I can never achieve. And no wonder my mind is then kind of scared to do stuff because it'll never live up to my own expectations. Deep. So yeah, I think I just need to expect to finish it. Okay, I have a plan. Guys. So I've written out the precise steps I need to take. I've broken it down into 7 steps. So often when I'm feeling confused or overwhelmed, this really helps me because it gives me an overview of what needs to be done. And the reason I also did this is because if I'm giving myself 1 week to do it, I wanted to see I've kind of got one step a day, I guess, sort of. So, you know, I want to plan Monday to do X, Y, Z, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so forth. So, feeling a lot better about this piece today than I was yesterday. Should I just give up? I made that list that I just showed you. So kind of just talking about creative block, I don't really believe in it. I don't think it's like this thing or this ailment. I just think it's psychological, and I'm just taking a more disciplined approach to I'm working on this now, and I'm gonna finish this section now, and I'm moving on, and just not being as sentimental about it anymore. I think I'm gonna try and just write a melody this morning and record some vocals. We'll see how the whole singing thing goes. I have Melodyne, so at least I can pitch correct. I've recorded some vocals. This is what it sounds like. Now the vocals on their own aren't at all tuned or anything like that. At the end of the day, it's about what it sounds like in context and not on its own. This part's okay. That was underwhelming. Look how much screen space that's taking. I can't work. Go to view and then uncheck overview. Holy moly, I can work again. It wants my oat bars. I was going to go to the kitchen to take my oat bars out of the oven. Putting a pool over my floor. Stop me from getting them. Poo number 1. Good. So tempted to jump you. Crisis averted. They're not burnt, they're nice and brown. This track, more so than any I've done in the recent past, I completely overcomplicated. Simplicity is hard to achieve, especially if you have a super busy mind like me. But it is something I want to work on in the next one, and something I want to encourage you guys if you struggle with just too many ideas or getting swept away. Some really great things came out of it from being swept away, but then I also need to learn which ideas to discard and which to run with instead of trying to keep all of them and make something coherent. It's really great to have you guys. I appreciate each and every comment, each and every like, each and every share, each and every subscribe. It is so cool being on this journey and having you guys support me and just say go for it. You guys are incredibly encouraging. Thank you. I want to say I love you, but I don't know, man. What if you don't say it back? Oh. Let me know what your goals have been and if you've been working towards them. Some of you have already messaged me and told me what your goals are, and that's super cool. Many of you guys are working on your own albums or finishing tracks. Let me know how it's going. Got a rough mix. I'm not happy with the rough mix. When am I ever happy with anything I do? But I'm going away for a few days, so I'm going to wake up early in the morning and just do a rough mix that I'm happy with, and then when I get back in a few days I'm going to listen to it again with completely fresh ears and probably, knowing me, make a lot of tweaks, and then I'm going to submit it. So I will document all of that in episode 3. So if you want to know what happens with that and if bitbird contacts me, stay tuned, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next one.